I'm doing my brainstorming. I think there's this kind of I think there is truth to trusting the process. And what I mean by that is in the early 90s, I got my first Macintosh. Shout out to Macintosh computers. But I think there's a process where maybe you buy a built PC, lack of a better word, a personal computer. I consider the Switch as a personal computer. I think there's an operating system that allows me to see a visualization of the code, I think, right? So my case that I'll be making for the Nintendo Switch, the first Nintendo Switch, I was thinking, so I've been brainstorming. I have two cases here. This will be my equivalent to ATX, and then this will be my MATX. But I was thinking I could get rid of the fan because I'm gonna make the case out of metal. So the case itself, the whole case, not just like one piece like this, guys. Yeah, so I'm just doing my brainstorming. No, so I wanted to show you guys, this is the point of my video. I wanted to show you guys my equivalent of what I think Nintendo should offer. So both of these, the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2, they came with screens. You know, but Nintendo might look at me and be like, this guy, he's such a foolish person. Why would anyone want a Nintendo Switch 1 without the screen? And I'm like, well, what if the screen gets outdated, you know, every, I don't know, few years? And I'm like, what if I wanted to keep, you know, like a DVD player is probably going to outlive your TV. And when I say DVD player, I mean my Xbox. And someone says you shouldn't buy an Xbox in 2026. I'm like, have you seen the prices of building your own computer? Why wouldn't you have Microsoft? Dun, da, da, da. Okay, Nintendo. I offer you my best example of the Nintendo Switch 1. The whole Nintendo Switch minus the screen. Boom, right? You could put the cartridge slot wherever you want to put it. I think this should be the next Nintendo Switch 1. I do. I'm like, what the heck, guys? You know, I'm like, you just make it a really sweet controller with back controls. You know, that way the only thing I have to plug into is a monitor. And maybe even I could just connect to my TV. However, people connect to their TVs in 2026. I don't know, is it Wi-Fi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7? Shout out to my Wi-Fi wifey. Look, I really like that song. Thank you guys. But yes, Nintendo, please make a Nintendo Switch version that doesn't have a screen. I think that will be the best. My predictions are the Nintendo Switch 1 will continue to outsell the Nintendo Switch 2. Why? Because a lot of people, maybe in America, we don't understand the concept of replacing. Like, we only understand the concept of upgrading. But sometimes you don't need to upgrade. You can just replace parts. Switch. I think a Switch is a part of an ecosystem, the Nintendo Switch 1. That's why when someone says you should upgrade, I'm like, well, you have to realize the whole thing is an ecosystem. It's not just the console, but it's like the dock, the controllers. They even changed the power cord, guys. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. I love you guys. And I'll see you on the next one. I'm gonna come out with my own outro, guys. Look, come on. This is the best controller. Look, why couldn't they finish this off? Make it my saxophone, guys. You could have made this a saxophone. Look, the possibilities are endless, but it's like the people in charge or the people within the organization are just dragging their feet. Maybe because they're not like the truest of the people who actually use the product. I think that's probably where you're gonna get the most input. And then, the people who get the products for free, you're gonna get probably quality input from them. No, I was thinking like people in the industry. So like most of your because it's true, the people who have are the people who maybe get sent stuff for free and they have like 17 different handheld and console handhelds. But it's like well, not most people aren't going to go through that process of learning which is the absolute best. You know, the reality is people are going to do a little bit of research, and then they're going to buy the one that they think is the best for them. So all I'm saying is, Nintendo, I don't even think you've touched the surface of how much money you could possibly make by just listening to the people who are like, hey, why can't we go to the Nintendo store and either design a cool graphic for the Switch and then be at the store there and it like prints out the graphic. You know, I saw this, like it was a robotic printer, like it like draws on, but why couldn't it be an etcher? Like, why couldn't I buy a Nintendo Switch? And then right there, I do the design and I'm like, why can't you etch out Pokemon like professionally, like with the laser? Nintendo, you know, make it a cool experience. You know, you don't have to, I think the experience sells itself when it's premium, and that's absolutely true. So if the Nintendo Switch store, I'm hoping the San Francisco one starts offering that etching service where you could pay and then they could just make cool designs on the Switch, make it more like a custom experience. You know, like what I think that's what Nintendo has always been the best at. And I agree, and I might disagree with everyone here. You know, if they're asking Mario Galaxy $40 for the game, I think it's like certain things, like some things. What if the game is 10 years old? That makes it less enjoyable. Like I went back and I'm playing because I was thinking about people I watch and I'm like, what would be my best video game, my all-time best? I would say my number one game, the game I think I spent the most time playing, was baseball on the Game Boy. And I'm playing MLB The Show. Dude, that game is really good. But there is a retro feature version, like thing that you click on. Sorry, like better words, guys. No, but it makes it feel like that Game Boy, that baseball Game Boy Advance, where you just pitch and then you control it as it comes down the middle. I'm going to show you guys a video, but all I'm saying is at the core of the game, if it's fun, that's what matters, I think. And then you add, you know, graphics and sound and all this extra stuff. But at the very core of the game, if it's not fun, then I don't think it will be fun once you add in all the whiz-bang graphics and sounds. Thank you, guys. So I want to nominate baseball on the Game Boy Advance for greatest game of all time. Thank you, guys. This is my submission for National Public Radio Tiny Desk competition. Here's my tiny desk, guys. Thank you. I just like messing around. I love you guys. Please have a blessed day. And I think this controller is so sweet. And Nintendo, if you collabed with these dudes, or you made your own version, like just boom, look at that, ba-jam, bada bam. Thank you, guys.